Hi everybody and welcome back to Kevin's Upfront Opinion today. So today I thought I'd speak a bit about Angela Rayner because obviously there's been all the allegations and everything that's been going on around her. Okay, so I thought I'd put my personal opinion of what I personally think. Now, what I don't like, and this is what I don't like, is that she's over the years. Now, I'm a conservative voter. I always have voted conservative. But over the years, she has slated the Conservatives for dodgy dealings. We'll put it politely as we can. You know, things that maybe not paid all their tax. And she's automatically called, you've got to quit. You can't stay in your ministerial role. You need to resign. Which is fair enough. But as the old expression goes, and that people have said about her, if you're going to go down that route, which there's nothing at all wrong with Angela Rayner going down that route over the years, you've got to be whiter than white. If you come into power, you've got to make sure you do not make any mistakes, because the first thing that your oppositions are going to do is call for your head. Now, she may have bought this house in Hove out of completely good faith. But my problem is she's been really, really stupid. And Angela Rayner may be a very smart woman. She may be way smarter than me. I don't know. Never met her. Never spoken to her. But she wants to give me a call. She's more than welcome to give me a call anytime for a little chit chat if she wants. Hopefully she doesn't, because my wife might get a bit jealous. But taking that aside, okay, so she may be really smart, but she's been really, really stupid over this. Because what I can't understand is why she never went to an accountant and people that specialise in tax to make sure she's paying the right amount of tax. And it's like, for a lot of news channels say, she's going to be surrounded by lawyers and accountants all the time from being in government. And it's not as if Angela Rayner is short of a quid or two. Okay, she can probably afford the best lawyers up in London. I'll be very surprised if she can't, because as the Deputy Prime Minister, she's easily going to be on well over 100 grand a year. Well over that. So there's no excuse for her for not being able to do. Now, the other thing that doesn't sit too well on me is basically, and I may not have got this entirely right, is that she's got her son to buy her stake in the house so she can move down to Hove. So the argument is she actually living where she's supposed to be for all the people that she represents? Now, I appreciate, as the Deputy Prime Minister, she's got to spend the bulk of her time down in London. But the weekends, there's no excuse for it. So the question is where is her primary home? Because if she's going to say that her primary home's up in, I think it's Manchester, why she bought a home in Hove? And Hove is a lovely place. I used to work in Hove. Okay, when I used to live in Barnum, I used to work in Hove. Okay, so I can't say anything bad about, well, I can't say anything too bad about Hove. It is a lovely place. So the question is, why she bought a house in Hove? Or should I say a flat? So that's the other fundamental question. So the big thing is, should she resign? I don't think she's got any option but to resign. And the main reason is because of the way she's gone in the past. And you can't just say, like Keir Starmer said, oh, I'm really proud to sit next to her on these front benches. You know, a woman that came from nothing and has managed to make something of herself because she got pregnant at 16. She looked after her mum, you know, when she was really ill, and she basically lived on a council estate. So what? I lived on a council estate. You're going to speak up for me? I know lots of people that came from council estates that have made something from themselves. I'm glad to see that she's managed to make something of herself, that she had a hard upbringing, but that can toughen you up at the end of the day. That can give you the incentive to want to make something of yourself if you came from nothing, which it looks like it's done for her. So I'm glad. But that's not an excuse. And it's not an excuse for stupidity either, because I know some really smart people that came from council estates. You know, that's factually true. So unfortunately for Angela, I think the best thing that she can do for herself and for the Labour Party, and I'm not a Labour voter. I have voted Labour in the past. First time I ever voted, which was when Tony Blair won his first election, I voted Labour because I never really knew much about politics, and I just got wrapped up in the furore of a new beginning. Conservatives have been in power for too long. You know, they had all the sports people and all the pop stars, you know, all around him. And I got wrapped up in that, and I voted Labour. Never voted Labour since, but I did then. But when it comes to Angela Rayner, I think she does have to resign. And it doesn't mean her career's over. Plenty of politicians have made mistakes, gone back, and then come back again. Because what you've got to remember is you've got one of the worst and weakest prime ministers we've ever had. I always said this was the election to lose, not to win. And I've said that to a lot of people. So I think if she goes back and maybe either become a junior minister or go onto the backbenches, which would probably be better for her, she would have the opportunity to come back at a later date and rebuild her career and sort herself out, because obviously this is going to give her a bit of a kick in, and I think that's a way better option for her rather than trying to hope that she can see this out and stay as the deputy. Because being the deputy leader and the housing minister, it's not everything. It's not the end. It's not the end of the world losing that. So if she's got any sense and people around her care about her, I think they should be telling her, step down, because the public ain't going to forget. They ain't going to forget if you keep on trying to ride this out. And the Labour Party would be much better off getting her out and getting somebody else in to fill that space in as quick as humanly possible. So for now, let me know what you think. Do you think it's time that she step down and maybe sort her life out, sort out her financial affairs, rebuild her career, and maybe come back at a later date? Because there's plenty of politicians that have done it. So let us know in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, if you could please follow or subscribe and give us a like and share as well, I would appreciate it. But for now, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you all again a bit later.